Strasbourg on Saturday. The match winner in London, Ousmane Dembele, is nursing a tight hamstring and begins the game on the bench as a precaution. So Désiré Doué is likely to be the most central forward between Barcola and Khvicha Kvaratskhelia. So much expectancy here tonight. It's an expectancy that PSG haven't always been able to cope with down the years. And that is something that he will hope to play on. Hope to feed into that history of lapses if he possibly can. Marquinhos here is the sole survivor of that catalogue of second leg collapses. The German Felix Weyer is tonight's referee. Eight of the Arsenal 11 this evening played most of Saturday's defeat to Bournemouth. They look weary at the end of that game. They've had little time to rest and recover. Thomas Partey returns to their midfield from suspension, and that releases Mikel Merino to resume his adventures in attack. Ricardo Calafiori and Jorginho are back in the fold after injury and are named on the bench alongside Leandro Trossard, who is the man to make way for Partey's return.
This match is brought to you by Qatar Airways, the UEFA Champions League official sponsor.
The opening goal in Milan took 21 minutes to arrive last night, Rob. Fireworks displays don't always begin with a bang, but I just got a feeling the opening goal here tonight will really feel important in the whole context of this semi-final.
It's massive, Clive, and you've got the feeling that Arsenal need to score it. You've got the feeling that Arsenal, they have to rock, they have to shake PSG. It's a fervent hotbed in here tonight. They need to quieten this crowd.
We're about 500 miles from Munich, 500 miles, a little over 3 weeks, and 90 minutes of football minimum away from either Paris Saint-Germain or Arsenal joining Inter Milan in the Champions League final. There is nothing else on the mind of the 22 players out there, and indeed everybody they're playing for tonight. Paris Saint-Germain lining up with Kvaratskhelia again on the left-hand side. Doué will play from the right, and it looks like Bradley Barcola is the player who's going to play down the centre.
Yeah, you're looking at that three. They're all interchanged. I think they are positional rather than in players that you're looking at in direct positions. They'll move into spaces.
Here's Bukayo Saka. Took some time to get involved in last week's first leg. The only goal of the semi-final so far came after just 3 minutes and 16 seconds in London last week by 26 consecutive Paris passes, and the sweet left foot of Ousmane Dembele, which is absent tonight. Looking through the record, you know, only 2 Champions League semi-finals in the last 18 years have been settled by a single goal, so you have to have the feeling that there is a lot more to come here tonight.
And you're looking at the battle of the wingers. We touched on Saka there up against Nuno Mendes. That's a really fascinating matchup. And Kvaratskhelia on that same side up against Jurrien Timber. Kvaratskhelia had the better of him. Not sure whether Timber's 100% fit in there. He's going to have to play. But Thomas Partey coming in for Arsenal in their 4-3-3. You're looking at someone who's allowing Mikel Merino to go up front as a centre forward, and more importantly, I think Declan Rice free him into midfield. PSG are weak on crosses. You've got 2 giants who can arrive into the box there. Arsenal really need to shake them, really need to question them at their defence.
Luis Enrique hoping to celebrate his 55th birthday tomorrow with a reason to party. The 54th didn't go so well. It was exactly a year ago tonight PSG went out of the Champions League here to Borussia Dortmund in the semi-final. Kind of thing really does Azu. Saka halted by Kvaratskhelia, but Timbers won it back here in a dangerous position, and Rice is there with a header, and that wasn't very far away. And Declan Rice's impact in the PSG penalty area, almost instant.
Well, there it is. There is the game plan for Arsenal. Get your two big men into the box, get the crosses in. It's a glorious chance for Declan Rice. Yeah, a little grimace there, you're thinking, this might be as good as he's going to get tonight.
He set up the 2 or 3 best moments that Arsenal had last week with his urgent surges from that deeper lying role. But he has made himself an all-round box-to-box midfield player this season. And inside the PSG box, he almost dropped there. Martinelli's pace, testing Hakimi. He recovered. Arsenal have the throw-in. Arsenal made a positive start here.
Yeah, it's down the flanks again. Jurrien Timber, Martinelli making the difference. And Thomas Partey coming in for a long throw. Something, set pieces, we talked about it last week.
PSG conceded from a long throw at Strasbourg last Saturday. And it is a long one from Partey. It's a good one, and almost turned in by Martinelli. Smuggled off the line. It was a big chance. The goal was gaping in front of him, and Gabriel Martinelli just couldn't quite steer it past the final defences.
That's a brilliant save. It's fantastic from Donnarumma again. Such a big part, but to be set and impact and ready, but just to be able to react in such a short space of time, because you don't know when the impact's going to be made, and it is that late run. Everyone's staring at the big players. Martinelli, one of the smaller ones, stealing in there.
He didn't do a lot wrong, actually, Martinelli. With his unfavoured left foot, he made a decent contact, but it hit the left knee of Donnarumma. There is an awful lot of Gianluigi Donnarumma to get past. Rice. Arsenal carrying the game to PSG. Odegaard. Now Saka. Lifted in towards Rice again. It will come for Martinelli once more. Headed away by Nuno Mendes. Wasn't too convincing. Arsenal trying to keep the heat on.
Well, this is positive from Arsenal. Look at Jurrien Timber, way up high. The centre forward almost for Arsenal now. He's the right back. That's how positive they're going to be. Kvaratskhelia has been forced all the way back into the back line to mark Saka as well. So they're affecting PSG in their positions.
Good ball from Odegaard to Saka. Are you surprised at how front foot Arsenal are?
Yeah, it was interesting listening to Jamie before the game in the studio saying, well, they might just stay in the game. But I really do think that you could just sit and wait. You could be sat waiting for blow after blow from PSG, but they're brilliant off the ball, Arsenal. They had to do something spectacular tonight on it. Started off really, really positively.
Arteta said in his media briefing yesterday, we are here to make history. Said in a very rehearsed, business-like, matter-of-fact kind of a way. He'd been thinking about it. Bukayo Saka. Gabriel Martinelli. He's found a way past Hakimi. The PSG right back managed to recover for the second time, but that's the second time Martinelli has outpaced him.
Yeah, all of a sudden, he's got the feeling he's got the beating of Hakimi here, Martinelli, and he's proved himself right a couple of times. It's interesting on the other side, it's up on Jurrien Timber. That's 3 or 4 times now he's played way up high. He's almost doing that Hakimi himself by just completely negating his position and just going up front.
PSG conceded from a corner at Strasbourg too at the weekend. Vulnerability at set pieces has been a talking point all season. Rice. Donnarumma tried to come for it and got to it. Took charge when the defenders around him wanted him to most.
We saw this time and time again at Anfield, in particular. Donnarumma coming for a lot of balls. Arsenal need to address that. They need someone stood at him. I don't know why they don't. Normally they do.
Thomas Partey is going to wind up another long one. It's bounced down here for Ødegaard! That's a sensational stop! A wonderful save! Sharp and quick and down to his left to tip Ødegaard's shot around the post. I'm not even sure he saw very much of it.
No, this is brilliant, because Ødegaard hits it as well as he likes. Just how quick, how fast he cuts his left leg to get down, to make the save, and it's a brilliant reaction.
And he's injured himself in the process. Well, he has made huge contributions against the English teams that he's faced in the competition this season, particularly Aston Villa and Liverpool.
You see Ødegaard's free on the edge of the box. From there, just looking, watching his left leg cut away. That gives him the time to get down to his left. You can see it almost just going in the wrong direction, but he has to go down so fast, and I think it's all of everything that he's taken from him. It's his shoulder.
Matvei Safonov, a Russian international, is the Paris Saint-Germain understudy goalkeeper, and is genuinely concerned because Donnarumma is still sitting down.
That was so quick and so powerful, and I think it's actually his arm wasn't set in a good position to make the save. It certainly looks like his left shoulder at the impact of the strike.
He will have noted Inter Milan's victory last night with particular interest. He's been strongly linked with a return to Milan. He grew up as a footballer with AC Milan, left in rather acrimonious circumstances, and apparently Inter Milan are very keen on bringing him back to Italy. He's got some more work to do here. Bukayo Saka will take the corner. Well defended at the near post by Batinha. Not so well cleared by Fabian Ruiz. Needed to wave that magic wand of left foot at it twice to make any kind of contact. But here comes Thomas Partey again.
There's no respite for PSG at the minute. First 10 minutes, all Arsenal. They've got to get the edge of the box sorted, PSG. You see the Arsenal players lining up.
Partey again. Defended well again. Ødegaard well. Once more. Back in by Partey. Really important header by William Pacho. Paris Saint-Germain can't get out. Doué won the ball there. No foul. An opportunity for Achraf Hakimi. And it's a tame cross in the end. It was an interesting moment of refereeing that by Felix Bayer, because Lewis Skelly certainly felt he was fouled.
Oh, it feels like it's the last 10 minutes, not the first 10 minutes of the game. They are going for it, and PSG are under the pump.
Let's not forget that 3 weeks ago tonight, Arsenal were beating Real Madrid in the Bernabeu. They've actually won their last 4 Champions League games on the road, in Lisbon, Girona and Eindhoven too. And Atletico and Liverpool have both beaten PSG here in this season's competition. Kiwior inviting Martinelli to run in behind Hakimi, who judged the bounce of the ball better. Again, no free kick.
Good decision. Hakimi trying to buy it, trying to con the referee there, just went down. We know what time this brings now. It's party time again.
He's going to have sore arms. Back on the launch pad, Thomas Partey. Header is by Marquinhos. Kept alive by Saliba. Partey winning a duel with Doué, but unable to force the ball into the penalty area. Joao Neves trying to tidy up. Just can't get started at all here, PSG.
No, it's really good from Arsenal off the ball as well. Saliba's the furthest man back, and your screen, he's way into the PSG half and was even higher. And that just allows Arsenal to press and press. That's what they lacked in the first 20 minutes last week. Now they've got it. They've got the shape to press.
Well, they couldn't get the ball for 20-30 minutes last week. 32% possession in the first half hour of the first leg, Arsenal. And most of the key stats were pretty even by the end of the 90 minutes in London.
Another minute. See Miles Lewis-Skelly, 49. He's a left back. He's dropping into the middle, but they're playing with two at the back mostly when they've got the ball. Just saying, everyone else, you just dominate.
And Martinelli can have another run at Hakimi here, tying his challenge well. And Achraf Hakimi, who's become accustomed to spending most of his life in the opponent's half of the field, is actually having to play as a right back tonight. And each throw-in conceded brings Thomas Partey back into the equation. Towards the head of Kivior. Marquinhos did just about enough. Lewis-Skelly keeps it alive. Ødegaard. Given away by Ødegaard, seized upon by Hakimi.
This is where they're struggling now, PSG, is that they're getting drawn back into their own half. They're getting drawn back deeper and deeper into the defensive shape. You can see Kvaratskhelia, top of the screen, he's almost in the back line.
A bit of space here for Timber. On towards Saka, across comes Pacho. There's a goal kick.
Well, they're doing it in numbers. PSG at the moment, they're just seeing this moment through, riding the storm that Arsenal have brought in this opening 15 minutes.
Both teams lost at the weekend. A sure sign that their minds were on other things, this other thing. The recent form isn't good. PSG 3 defeats in the last 6. Arsenal without a win in 3, but neither is that form truly relevant because this semi-final has been eating up all of their attentions in the 3 weeks since the quarter-finals. Barker unable to improvise. Rice just unable to keep it in.
See Barcola and Doué have now swapped. Doué's drifting. Barcola's come down to this right-hand side. Behind the referee, Doué, he's the centre forward, or the nominal centre forward.
That's a terrible ball by Nuno Mendes. Martinelli, Marino, and now Ødegaard. When he thought about a shot, he thought about playing Saka in, and he did neither in the end. This is what Doué can do, though, on the counter. Got PSG up the field for virtually the first time.
Well, Bertini's on the ball. Just get a hold of the ball for PSG now. Just to get a taste of the game and just to calm it down a fraction.
PSG getting a taste of what Arsenal had in the opening minutes last week. 31% possession for them at home.
This is Vitinha and where he comes into play for PSG just to dictate. Okay, 20 passes here. That kills the game.
Just trying to clear their heads. Marquinhos fired into Kvaratskhelia. Out to Ziré Doué. Kvaratskhelia. Brilliant. Hits the post. Comes off Lewis-Skelly and falls for Raya. Wow. Ivica Kvaratskhelia. It's not even a chance, really. Just conjures up something out of nothing and strikes the inside of David Raya's post.
The speed of the touch and the strike didn't give anybody a chance to get close. He's just so quick with his feet. It's almost perfect.
Bradley Barcola. Well, last night's events in San Siro are going to take a bit of matching, but this has been a bubbling start to the second leg of the semi-final. It's good to save, as you'll see, from Donnarumma at one end, and the shot from Kvaratskhelia at the other that no goalkeeper in the world could get close to.
Well, sometimes you just got to clap him in, Clive. This would have been one. You say you give him half a yard, maybe even not even a yard. This ball is so tight to his feet, gets it out perfectly. Diving across that goal, it feels like it's an eternity away from you.
Saka, cleverly played. Tipper was just caught there. It's going to be a yellow card for Nuno Mendes.
An interesting call for Felix White. He's had a few that he's let go so far, but that was a promising position for Arsenal. I think it's more so the position than anything else, more than the actual amount of contact there was. But Jurrien Timber getting forwards again from right back. A lot of the time just a supporting role for Bukayo Saka, but he's been a lot more advanced tonight.
The modern football boot is so light and flimsy that really hurts the studs on the top of the bony part of the foot. Saka. Rice. Turned away by Fabian Ruiz, hit by Martinelli. Coutinho trying to calm it down again. It's Hakimi trying to escape. Lewis Skelly's recovery, his awareness was excellent.
Brilliant from Lewis Skelly.
Odegaard's header. Saka against João Neves. Seemed to have the better of him, but again the referee taking a pretty liberal view of contact.
Saka can't quite believe it. I'm wondering why he would fall over in that position when you're running into the penalty area.
PSG are just trying to set up a base camp in this match. These huge cup ties are a battle of wills. Can you play the game that you want to play? And Arsenal have prevented PSG from doing that so far. I've seen absolutely nothing of Hakimi or Mendes getting forward.
I just don't think they can right now. They're tucked in so tight to the back four because of the advanced positions of the Arsenal midfield and full-backs.
Lewis Skelly in that midfield position that he takes up again. There's a real zip about Arsenal's passing this evening. It's a zip they've lacked in a lot of their attacking play of late. But here's Odegaard creating a space for himself. Declan Rice. Martinelli. It's a corner. You just wonder if that might have suited Odegaard's left foot rather better than Rice's.
Shoot all day long. It's just that little flicker of confidence that's lacking in Odegaard's game. It was there to drive at the goal, to drive at the penalty area, but then to shoot, it was just void. He just second-guessed himself and it was gone.
But Arsenal will always settle for the consolation of a corner kick. It's one of their chosen specialist subjects.
Donnarumma is free again. He's got the freedom in the 6-yard box to get out and claim this ball.
It's away as far as Odegaard, although Doué beat him to the punch. Marquinhos with a header. Lewis Skelly keeping the attack alive. This is Bukayo Saka. Merino. Timber. That is a waste of a cross.
It's been bright from Arsenal. It's been really, really positive. The only negative you would say about them is, again, they've had enough chances to score. Well, you've got to score against PSG when you're on top. How long you stay on top for, I don't know.
Rice. Merino. It's just a little loose. Kivior couldn't reach it. Barcola could. Here's Desiree Doué. Well, off there, Arsenal. William Saliba, who has been prone to some carelessness in recent weeks.
It's sloppy from Saliba. It was just the touch of Doué just before he gets his strike. Just this touch here wasn't far enough out. You can see he wants to create that space.
Barkley was free. Doué's played pretty much down the centre as a permanent role now.
Well, I think they've swapped because they realise that Barkley was better at getting up and getting out of deeper positions, and they're having to be in a deep position right now, PSG.
It's a real hunger about Arsenal without the ball.
João Neves in the centre circle. He's got two Arsenal players to pick up. He just can't work out which one. He's looking around. Marino's tucking into midfield. Ødegaard's then swapping round, and Rice is moving beyond him. Again, Marino picking it up. They just can't find the Arsenal players and where to pick them up.
That's what Dembele did to Arsenal so effectively last week. Martinelli. Ødegaard to Luis Skelly. Not quite what he had in mind. The decision goes Paris Saint-Germain's way. Well, he played 50 odd times for Paris Saint-Germain. He was a young Barcelona player on loan here 23, 24 years ago. Mikel Arteta's first year away from his home country, a year in which he shared a room on club trips with Ronaldinho, among others. You learn quickly in that kind of company. So it's a homecoming of sorts, and a homecoming that's gone very well in every respect, apart from having anything to show for it.
I think of Mikel Arteta as a manager, what he does do is build in a very good mentality of us against the world, and that is such a good analogy for this evening here.
Given away by Marquinhos. Luis Skelly ran into traffic. Fabian Ruiz. Got men over here, PSG, they work it well. Vitinha, terrific from Ødegaard though. Saka. He ran into João Neves. The game has got a little loose here. PSG are just looking to settle this match down if they can. They had an opportunity to counter there which they didn't want to take. There's a flag up against Désiré Doué.
Just looking at Doué and his movement there, and touched on it with Dembele. That's where he's lacking the intelligence of when to go and where to go, how to get in on the positions in the channel.
Rice, his first touch was a little heavy and he caught Kvaratskhelia as a result. There's going to be a yellow card for Declan Rice.
Yeah, he's saying he won the ball from the side, but it's a very heavy challenge from behind from Declan Rice. It's just a poor touch. Nowhere near a simple decision for the manager, for the referee, sorry.
His protest that he got the ball. Well, it's a fib. Footballers do fib. Well, Arsenal have a reputation for being good attacking set pieces. A reputation for defending set pieces has gone downhill quite rapidly in recent times. They've conceded far too many goals from these kind of situations. Vitinha's the man over the ball. Some advice from Kvaratskhelia. Vitinha takes. Partey heads away. Fabian Ruiz. Brilliant! You cannot strike a ball sweeter than that. Fabian Ruiz's first ever Champions League goal is an absolute beauty. It sat up so invitingly for him, and he didn't disappoint. Pure hit of the ball by Fabian Ruiz. A And Paris Saint-Germain double their aggregate lead.
Well, it's wild celebrations in the stadium. It's really clever movement. You just see him drop out of the line, and then that touch away from the Arsenal pressure, off the chest, and it sits up wonderfully well, and he hammers it on the volley and nick off the defender. But there's no questioning the quality of the strike, the quality of the movement, and the intelligence of Fabian Ruiz. He knew he wasn't going to get the header, so just walk away. He can't quite believe it, the pressure they've been under in this first 20 minutes.
Well, I tell you what I can't quite believe. 46 games in the Champions League for Napoli and Paris Saint-Germain, 1 goal, and you've just seen it. Fabian Ruiz is 5th of the season for PSG, but his first ever in the Champions League.
It's a moment of real quality. Real intelligence from Fabian Ruiz. You have to say, for Arsenal, for all their endeavour, for all their inventive play. It was a sloppy touch and tackle from that man that gave the free kick away. They've got a mountain to climb now.
Well, they're looking for any inspiration to draw on. I suspect they got plenty last night. The semi-final's far from over. Ødegaard's cross. Headed down dangerously by Kiwior. Here's Saka. Luis Skelly, a little bit too calm. And here goes Kvaratskhelia. It was a sharp pass. He's got Bradley Barcola with him. Barcola didn't really stretch Raya. It was a good save, but no more than that.
Well, it's a good save, but it's a massive moment. Slip from Arsenal. And it's away. Thinking that pass from Kvaratskhelia is just a little bit overhit, but then get yourself out. And it's brilliant from Declan Rice, isn't it? Just to get his body something in the way, just to put off Bradley Barcola was enough.
Doué will take the corner. Give it back to Hakimi. Well, I've seen that kind of corner kick worked time and time again by teams all over the world. The pullback to the edge of the area for a volley. I've never seen a pullback hit with quite that amount of pace. I'm not sure what Hakimi was supposed to do with that.
Well, it's good, but it's not that good.
The best you could say is that all the pace was on it for him. But it was upon him very, very quickly. Marino. But that's the nature of Paris Saint-Germain. It's a cruel scoreline in so many ways for Arsenal, except that we know PSG can score goals like that. Kvaratskhelia nearly scored one 10 minutes earlier. There's nothing lucky about the strike from Fabian Ruiz. There was a slight deflection, but I don't think it had any impact upon Raya's ability to stop it.
Oh, this would have been curtains. Saying it wasn't. Maybe they're not the best of finishes, but I think a little nick from Declan Rice in there possibly saved Arsenal in this game.
David Raya's going to be exposed on occasions tonight, more so now as Arsenal chase a 2-goal deficit. He's going to have to remember that performance that Alisson Becker gave here for Liverpool a couple of months ago. He will have to make saves. Kvaratskhelia is so industrious as well as so skillful. Saka to Timber. Crossed it towards Declan Rice. Put goalwards by Marino. It was a difficult skill.
It's a clever knockdown from Declan Rice, and see what Mikel Marino is trying to do, and time again when these crosses have come in, and it's the first contact and the second contact on the edge of the box that Arsenal are winning.
It's actually the first time he started up front since the game in the Bernabeu 3 weeks ago, when he set up both of the goals and won the penalties. So, and certainly in Kai Havertz's absence, he's probably Arsenal's best central striker at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's scored goals as well in there, hasn't he? The return that he's brought has been more than anyone was expecting. They need more now.
Wasteful from Hakimi. Rice. Martinelli. Pushing the man there by Hakimi. It's been given.
Zinchenko, one of the subs from Arsenal, giving Martinelli a pat on the back. You just see a couple of the Arsenal shirts now just starting to sag, the shoulders just going a bit. No matter what they are in the Champions League semi-final, and they do need to keep believing in something miraculous will happen here.
Much as PSG deserved to win in London last week, I watched the game back the following day. There was a good hour in the middle of that match when they didn't really threaten the Arsenal goal at all. They could have been 2-3 up after 20 minutes. But it's been a different story tonight. It was Arsenal who asked all the early questions, particularly of Donnarumma. He found answers, and after Kvaratskhelia had hit an upright, Fabian Ruiz volleyed in. His team has now got to find 2 goals in Paris to stay in the Champions League.
Think of the game at Villa Park the previous side, it really did get rocked in that, and they were rocking PSG. Well, they survived the storm here.
Challenged by Marino is a little clumsy.
Slightly agree, but I think it's him and the effects of Jurrien Timber just before him that was more so the foul.
Siding down his Spanish international teammate Fabian Ruiz.
It's foul.
Vitinha. Nuno Mendes has lost it. Bukayo Saka has found it, and he's found Declan Rice too. Really make the best contact with the cross ball. Pacho defends it.
Wasn't quite sure, was it? Didn't really look up and see the numbers, the figures in there for him to cross to. It's good from Arsenal, pressing sideways really well. That's what PSG have done so well to the opposition in previous rounds, to press the seam off the side of the pitch. Arsenal are doing that to them now.
Yeah, the PSG midfield, which has won so much praise during the season, João Neves, Vitinha, Fabian Ruiz, have not been able to establish themselves in this game at all. Saliba hopefully forward towards Marino. He's won it in the air though, and here's Declan Rice. It'll come for Odegaard. Martinelli. He's found a way past Hakimi, and again Martinelli. A bit too deep for Saka, hit by Timber. Not by Kvaratskhelia, back inside his penalty area again. Hakimi. Doué. Barker looking to run beyond Kivior and Saliba here. João Neves headed down from Hakimi. It is João Neves. Kvaratskhelia. stumble through to the goal itself.
Just can't stop him. Just can't stop the man. You feel that PSG survived that one again, that attack again, just by numbers alone, really, not by defending well. They just happen to be in the way because they've got that many players back. Arsenal got to keep knocking PSG. Feel that they're going to break away and get something as well.
A couple of good goal attempts in that last Arsenal attack, but they were blocked at source. Joao Neves has lost this. Arteta in the foreground. Both he and Luis Enrique are playing every ball. The officials in Milan gave up on trying to get Simone Inzaghi back into his technical area last night. It's a rough guide, I think, that those lines that are drawn for the managers to patrol. Scalia under the heel and run. Saliba marshalling that area well. Timber forward to Saka. Ødegaard. Timber trying to switch it. Vitinha. Hakimi. Seen by the referee on the ball now. He just needs to get on the ball again for PSG. Take the sting out of the game, get the frenetic energy out of the game, bring some control for them. One commodity I was starting to doubt about Arsenal in recent games was energy, but they had so much of it tonight. Zestful energy. Luis Skelly though caught in possession by Joao Neves. Desiree Doué. Clever little back heel, little fall though. Timber to clear. Marquinhos reaching round Merino to win the ball.
It just feels like every time Arsenal get caught on the ball, it's a dangerous moment, and like PSG are breaking through. And this one didn't really come off. The numbers were back for Arsenal.
Stick again very well indeed. This is Rice. Jurrien Timber. Now Bukayo Saka. Ødegaard. Timber. They're away by Pacho again. Clearance by Ruiz, but it's an anxious clearance. Kibior. Saka maybe felt he was offside there. Hakimi. Joao Neves. Nuno Mendes, not for the first time, giving the ball away.
Well, it's really interesting. What's really good from Arsenal is having Merino as a centre forward. They've got the extra midfielder with a mentality when they've got it off the ball. All of a sudden they can close the spaces in midfield a lot better, and that's why PSG, as opposed to last week, are struggling to get their men on the ball.
Saka. Fired into Merino, it just needed a touch. He actually won the race to the near post, he got into pole position, couldn't convert.
That's the one time that Saka's got 1v1. Here's Nuno Mendes, and it's on the wrong foot for Merino. This wasn't on the wrong foot for Fabian Ruiz. This was exactly where he wanted it. Little nick on Saliba, just seeing how he turned his body as a defender. If he stands and stays square, hits him clean in the gut, they don't care.
He was quite strongly linked with Arsenal last summer. It really has taken until his third season here for him to fully establish himself as a PSG player. 29-year-old in a team with an average age of just over 25. But he blossomed with Spain last summer in the European National Championships. It was outstanding for them in that success. Seems to have gone on from there. Now, did Timber body check Kvaratskhelia? Referee probably saw that out of the corner of his eye.
No, I think Kvaratskhelia knew that the ball was too flat and it was going away from him. Hope and expectation, really.
Long towards Saka, and Nuno Mendes has misjudged it. This is Bukayo Saka. It's behind Rice. PSG ride their luck a little bit, but find a clearance.
He's got to go past him there, Clive. He's beaten him. He's got to take another touch and go by him.
Hakimi seeking out Barcola in behind Louis Skelly. Doué. Desiré Doué. Blocked by Louis Skelly at some cost. It's really winded. The referee is taking pastoral care, really, of a wounded soldier. He's got to do that. He's got to make those kind of judgments. He doesn't know how serious it is. It's not as if Louis Skelly could be faking it.
Oh, it's a heavy blow. Bit of a body shot for Louis Skelly. He's going back to that chance of Saka there. He tries to get it out his feet and get it across, but Nuno Mendes has been booked. If he took that another touch, the trailing leg would have caught him. The referee's really got a tough decision.
Say there's a bit more depth on the PSG bench tonight than the likes of Gonzalo Ramos there or Zaire Emery. I don't know whether Luis Enrique will really want to turn to Ousmane Dembele, but he is there, nursing a tight hamstring. Arsenal have got Ricardo Calafiori and Jorginho back in harness tonight on the bench, but how fit they are, I'm not sure. And again, they don't add to the attacking options for Mikel Arteta. 2 added minutes.
Additional time, 2 minutes.
I've seen Nuno Mendes have to defend tonight, and he's not as impressive as a defensive left back as he is as a raiding one.
He's fantastic as a wing back and really kind of plays as a wing back in a back four.
Rice, so strong on the ball again. Good check. Finds Ødegaard and now Saka. Bukayo Saka's cross and Martinelli just couldn't reach it ahead of Hakimi.
Where are you? Saka's saying to Martinelli, I'll feed it across, I'll put it in there. There's your man, that's your opponent, Hakimi. He's in the right place. Where are you?
One more Thomas Partey throw for this first half. Came off the head of Vitinha and it's gathered by Donnarumma.
Been the difference between PSG going in very, very comfortable and really looking down the barrel of a shaky first half, because he made some fantastic saves early on, and that's easy to forget with the scoreline we've got.
Yeah, we talked a lot about the first goal here tonight, didn't we, before the game, and it could easily have been an Arsenal goal. Penalised. Well, in many senses, Mikel Arteta will close the dressing room door and talked to an Arsenal team that had done just about everything he could have hoped, except take the early chances. Donnarumma kept them out. Fabio Ruiz volleyed in a magnificent goal, which gave Paris Saint-Germain a 1-goal lead on the night and a 2-goal lead on aggregate at half-time.
This match is brought to you by Lay's. And Qatar Airways, UEFA Champions League official sponsors.
Who's responsible for this?
If something goes wrong, you find a scapegoat. It's what you do.